Content creation, AI for B2B blog writing. AI is now the baseline for B2B blog writing. If you're in B2B marketing or sales, you felt the pressure. Leadership wants more pipeline, sales wants better enablement, and the content calendar keeps expanding. Generative AI moved from interesting to expected fast, and it's reshaping how teams produce blog content at scale. The goal isn't to publish more words, it's to publish more useful assets that help prospects make decisions and help SDRs create conversations. The adoption numbers make the shift pretty clear. About 73% of marketing teams use generative AI, and 88% of marketers rely on AI tools in their daily workflow. 93% say it accelerates content creation. When AI becomes a default part of production, we don't use AI stops being a brand differentiator and starts being an operational disadvantage. But speed without strategy is where teams get burned. AI can help you draft faster, yet if you publish one-click posts that sound generic or worse, contain shaky claims, you'll lose trust with prospects and create risk in search. The winning approach is simple. Treat AI like a high-output assistant, then apply human expertise, governance, and sales alignment before anything goes live. Why B2B blogs still drive pipeline when you write the right ones. Before you invest in any AI workflow, it's worth answering the question buyers and executives silently ask: do blogs still matter? In B2B, they do, because prospects self-educate long before they reply to an email or accept a meeting. Your blog is often where your positioning, credibility, and "we understand your problem" proof shows up first. The data supports this. Content Marketing Institute reports 87% of B2B marketers say content marketing builds brand awareness. 74% say it generates demand and leads, and 49% say it contributes to sales and revenue. In other words, content is not just top-of-funnel decoration, it influences deals when it's tied to real buyer questions. From an SDR perspective, a strong blog post becomes reusable sales fuel. It gives your team something valuable to send, it pre-handles objections, and it creates a credible reason for outreach beyond checking in. This is especially powerful when paired with outbound motions run by an SDR agency, outbound sales agency, or an outsourced sales team that needs high-quality assets to earn attention quickly. What AI does well and what it should never own alone. AI is best used to scale a message you already know works. If your ICP, value prop, and a few proven angles are clear, AI can turn those inputs into outlines, first drafts, variations for different personas, and repurposed snippets for email and LinkedIn. That's why AI writing has become mainstream. About 85% of marketers use AI writing or content creation tools today. Where AI helps most in a B2B blog program is the blank page bottleneck. Case studies show AI can reduce content creation time by 30 to 80%, and some teams report up to 50% time savings per piece of content. That reclaimed time is what lets you do the work that actually moves pipeline: SME interviews, sharper examples, better CTAs, and stronger distribution through a cold email agency, cold calling services, or your internal SDR pod. Where AI falls down is exactly where trust is won: nuance, accuracy, and original experience. Don't let a model invent customer stories, legal claims, security posture statements, pricing details, or competitive comparisons. Make human in the loop non-negotiable, and treat AI output as draft material that needs verification, real-world examples, and a clear point of view before it represents your brand. A practical human-in-the-loop workflow that sales will actually use. Start topic selection with sales conversations, not keyword tools. Your SDRs and AEs are sitting on the highest intent dataset you have. Objections, follow-up questions, why now triggers, and the exact language prospects use to describe pain. If you feed anonymized call notes, email replies, and CRM snippets into AI and ask it to cluster themes, you'll get blog ideas that mirror buying reality instead of marketing assumptions. Next, generate a brief before you generate a draft. We recommend prompting AI to produce a one-page spec that includes the ICP, funnel stage, primary keyword, what we want the reader to do next, and how the post will be used in Outbound. For example, a post-demo objection follow-up or an early-stage nurture asset. This is also where you prevent a common mistake: writing AI content with no tie to sales motions, which usually creates a content graveyard nobody uses. Finally, draft in sections and enforce review checkpoints. Have AI produce one section at a time, then run a fast edit loop. A marketer for voice and clarity, a subject matter expert for accuracy and depth, and a sales leader for relevance to deals. This is the simplest way to get the speed benefits of AI without letting generic, unedited copy leak into your brand or confuse prospects. AI should scale proven expertise, not replace it. Publish only what a real subject matter expert would confidently say to a prospect on a live call. Staying safe with Google. Helpful content beats scaled spam. Google's stance isn't AI content is bad. The real risk is low-quality, scaled output that adds little value. Exactly what happens when teams publish one-click posts and call it a content strategy. After Google's March 2024 core and spam updates targeting scaled content abuse, Google reported a 45% reduction in low-quality content in search results, which is a clear warning that mass-produced AI slop is a measurable liability. The safest path is the same path that produces better pipeline outcomes: original, experience-driven content. Use AI for research and drafting, but require humans to add real examples, precise recommendations, and credible sourcing, especially when you're making performance claims, discussing compliance, or advising on security and finance. If your team tends to over-optimize for keywords, explicitly prompt AI to prioritize clarity for a specific buyer persona first, then lightly optimize after a human read-through. Make your quality bar operational, not aspirational. A simple checklist, fact-checking, EEAT signals, internal links, a specific CTA, and a final human edit is usually enough to keep you aligned with search expectations while still moving fast. This is also where governance matters. Without documented rules for where AI is allowed and where it isn't, voice inconsistency and avoidable risk show up quickly. Common mistakes that kill trust and how to fix them. The most damaging mistake is publishing unedited AI drafts. Prospects can feel generic writing instantly, and inaccurate details are even worse because they force your sales team to walk back your own content in live conversations. If you want the speed of AI without the brand damage, set a policy that every AI-assisted blog requires SME review and a final editor pass, no exceptions. The second mistake is building content in a vacuum. A blog program that isn't mapped to sequences, personas, and deal stages rarely drives meetings, especially for teams that rely on B2B cold calling services, telemarketing, or sales outsourcing where messaging consistency matters. Define the sales play before you draft: who will send the post, in what scenario, and what the CTA will be when an SDR shares it. The third mistake is failing to measure beyond traffic. If you can't tell which posts are clicked from outbound emails, which ones show up in opportunities, and which ones influence booked meetings, you won't know what to double down on. In 2025, measurement is also why more teams are budgeting for AI. 39% of B2B marketers expect increased investment in AI for content creation, and 40% expect more investment in AI for optimization and performance. Leaders want ROI clarity, not just higher output. Optimization. Turn blogs into outbound assets, not just web pages. If you want AI-assisted blogging to produce pipeline, treat every post like a modular outbound asset. After publishing, use AI to generate email snippets, a call opener, and a LinkedIn follow-up message that references the post's core insight. This is where content becomes practical for an SDR team, especially when you're running a high-volume motion like cold calling, B2B cold calling, or an outbound sequence that needs a value-first touchpoint. Standardize prompts so output is consistent. Your prompt library should include the ICP, buying stage, target keyword, a short "what we believe" POV statement, and how the post will be used. For example, post demo objection, implementation timeline, or top of funnel, replacing legacy vendor. Consistency is the antidote to governance issues, and it reduces edit time while keeping tone aligned across writers and tools. Measure what matters for revenue teams: meetings, opportunities, and influenced pipeline. Add UTMs to every link an SDR sends, tag AI-assisted posts in your CMS, and work with RevOps to tie URLs back to opportunities. It's also worth noting how quickly daily usage is rising. 60% of marketers used AI tools daily in 2025, up from 37% in 2024, a 62% jump. So the teams that win will be the ones who operationalize measurement, not just experimentation. Next steps: build the engine, then scale distribution. The most reliable path is an AI-assisted, human-led content engine, sales-led topic selection, AI-supported briefs and drafts, SME verification, and a distribution plan that lives inside your sales engagement workflow. When you run that loop consistently, your blog stops being a marketing artifact and becomes a system for answering objections, building authority, and earning replies from the right accounts. If you want a clear starting point, focus on 1 month of execution, not a year of theory. Pull a sample of recent calls and replies, generate 5 blog briefs with AI, publish 2 posts that map directly to your highest frequency objections, and package each post into outbound-ready snippets. The key is to keep the workflow repeatable so you can scale without sacrificing quality. This is also where partners can help if your internal team is strong on strategy but short on execution bandwidth. At SalesHive, we've seen the best outcomes when content is tightly connected to outreach, so SDRs always have something relevant to send and say. Whether you're building in-house or leveraging sales outsourcing through a B2B sales agency or SDR agency model. When AI increases production, distribution becomes the multiplier, and that's where booked meetings follow.